Hey y'all, it's Zelda. Today I'm going to be telling y'all my coming out story. I've been trying to do it for about a week. I know I've told you guys that I was going to do it, but I haven't been able to because I've been really nervous and I've been trying to get it perfect, and I've been so nervous I just haven't been able to do it, but I finally decided to do it, and I hope you learn from it and I hope it helps you. Okay, so I was about 16, I think, and I met this girl, and she was my best friend for a while, and she was actually homophobic, and she would tell me all the time, gays are gross, it's wrong, it's weird, and I would just sit there quietly and just deal with it, but she eventually was like, "Hey, I really like you." And I was like, hey, cool. So we ended up trying it out a little bit. At first, it was really, really good. Things were going great. We didn't tell many people at the school. Um, her her parents found out about 2 months after we got together. They took her car, her phone, her laptop, her iPod. They took everything that I had ever given her, and I'm not sure what they did with it at the time. I think they just put it up in their attic or something, because that's just weird to me, but that's what they did. And they took her out of my classes at school. Eventually, my mom, found a note that she had written me, and first I lied about it, because my mom is extremely homophobic, very, very, very badly. I ended up having to go somewhere else instead of actually staying at my house. It was really bad. So she and I had some issues because of that. My mom started being really terrible to me. She's like, "You're not a dyke, blah, blah, blah." And she got mad at me every time I wear my gym shorts and my t-shirts. I mean, I don't get that, but whatever. And she threatened to tell my dad. Now, at the time, I thought my dad was a lot worse than she was about it. But it turns out that he wasn't. I called my grandmother. I was at band camp. And I had gone to band camp crying my eyes out. And I called my grandmother. And I was like, "Hey, by the way, I have this thing that I have to tell you. It's kind of big news, so yeah." So I went over to her house after band camp because I didn't want to go home. And I told her. And she told me that she would be there for me when I told my dad. And I told my dad, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's really shocking," or whatever, but he's like, "I love you. I'm going to support you for whatever you do. I'm not going to hold it against you or anything like that." And, that was really good, so I ended up living with my dad a lot at the time. I had to lie to my mom, tell her that I broke up with her. We were together for 2 years, and her parents, finally, they were horrible, horrible people to both of us all the time. I never got to see her. I graduated before she did, so it was really hard during that time because we couldn't talk to each other at all. And so after 2 years, I had to call it off because I couldn't talk to her. I couldn't see her, and her parents basically brainwashed her. It was a struggle throughout the entire relationship, ups and downs, and constantly threatening to leave, and she was threatening to leave me because, homosexuality was bad and she was going to hell and all that stuff. So, I struggled a lot with that. It is very hard to come out. I suggest that to the people that have not come out yet, I suggest you find a place that you can go before you tell anybody if you think your family is going to be negative toward it. I mean, like, if they're going to be a little bit bad, it's not that bad, but if you think it's going to be horrible, definitely, definitely not do it until you know that you have a safe place to go. The acceptance was hard at first. Like I said, her parents were terrible and my mom was terrible, but my family, they all accepted it eventually and they supported me. I do not wish I did it sooner or later than I did, and I do not regret it because it opened the eyes of my family and it opened my eyes to my family to see that they were not as judgmental as I had originally believed. The rewarding part of it is that I felt better because I was able to be myself. I was able to let people know exactly who I was, and the school, actually, everybody started supporting us. They loved us. The teachers would even let us see each other in classrooms when they weren't supposed to. So there are good people out there. You just gotta find them. I would have done it differently. I would have told them in the beginning, but I feel like that might have been a bad idea. I don't know. I'm kind of happy with the way it went. A lot of people that I didn't tell found out. Like, every single human being that I knew for somehow, I don't know how. I didn't tell a lot of people, actually. One of the questions somebody asked me is if I could take a pill that would make me straight, would I do it? No. I love being who I am. I love liking what I like. I like being gender fluid. I can wear whatever I want. And people can just get over it. And that's the mentality you need to have. The most painful part of coming out was my mom. I felt like, she disowned me or whatever, but that's not really what happened. It just felt like that at the time. It did not take me time to accept myself. I was fully okay, fully aware, have everything that was happening, and I was happy with it. The most supportive thing that they did would be probably my grandmother sitting with me when I actually told my dad. That was really great. I don't know if I could have done it without her. And yeah, I've always known, because even when I was little, I would compliment, like, the women on TV. I would never compliment the guys. I was always like, oh, she's really pretty. Oh, I love that dress. I would never be like, oh, he's really cute. I wonder what he looks like with his shirt off. No, I wasn't one of those people. And like I said, if you haven't come out yet, definitely try to find a safe place to go before you do. I cannot stress that enough. I don't know if, everybody feels the same way that I do about that in particular, but I highly suggest it because, I had another place to go, so it could have been a lot worse than it actually was. If you are planning to come out anytime soon and you need to talk to me, you can comment on my videos, you can send me a private thing on Instagram, you can kick me, you can send me a message on Skype, I don't care. I'll respond, and I would love to help you out if I can. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps someone somewhere.